Hi teammates, let's dive into some mysteries. I see the Alita genie that we went over today is Rapture Signs and Invitations. The guy on YouTube, Rapture Signs and Invitations. He's on there with his wife and he's got a few kids and stuff, but that's who I see that the Alita genie is. And in 95, when I ran around in a Batman suit and hit my head on the armoire, I acquired his God of Forces and Microbat Godzilla rings. That's what the symbolism shows. You can take all this to the Lord. But I don't know what was going on with him back then, but that's what my symbolism shows. Mountain Dew Lemon's rings. I'm just going to say Mountain Dew Lemon. So Daniel Harris core ring acquired November 30th, 2013. Amaranthus Brown Eye ring acquired summer 2011. Godzilla Microbat, which has Spirit of Amaranthus Grey Kizans on his back, acquired 95. God of Forces Daniel 11 ring acquired 95. So you can take all this to the Lord. And back in the summer of 2012, when I was coaching the Palomar swim team with my brother in Lexington, we got in a fight at basically the end of the summer, right before the big conference swim meet, and I punched him in the face, and it was kind of like the way it happened was weird. Like, it wasn't a real forceful punch, but we were in the car and he was driving, and he went over the curb, and we were in a parking lot at this panel swim shop parking lot, and my foot got all messed up from the door that slammed on my foot, and I had my sandals on, and I ended up going barefoot to my aunt and uncle's house where we were staying at the time in their basement. And the next day I coached with my brother and everything was fine the next day, but because that night, the night of the fight, we both basically cried to each other and made up in a parking lot of a fitness place. And it's been many fitness places. It was a Gold's Gym, and then it was a 24-hour fitness. But yeah, so we made up, but before we made up, I went out to dinner with my dad, and I totally went off on my dad and was saying all this stuff like how I'm going to be more successful than him and my brother, and how I wasn't like them and how I was better than them, and it was all ego, and I just totally went off because my brother had made me so mad, and I took it out on my dad. And get this, it was before I was going to California, so I felt I had that in the back of my mind too, that I was going out there to be an actor or something. And so that was that story. And then summer 2013, I decided to stay out in California with my roommates who had gotten a apartment, and I wanted to be on campus, but they chose to be off campus, so I just went with them and had to pay a whole bunch of money. It was a big waste, but I swam for Mission Viejo, and my dad paid for it with his pool managing money from the Owensboro Country Club, and I basically wasted all that money because I didn't use it to swim for the school, swim for Concordia University Irvine. I quit the team because the Jim Montrella, the coach, had left, and I was just feeling like I wasn't really a part of the team, and I was smoking too much and all that. So I quit the team, and I was fed up with the team, and my roommate Ryan had come back from a meeting with the coach in tears, and that pushed me to quit. And then he actually stayed on the team and became a big time leader for them. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I had problems with him. But anyway, it was just, that was the big waste of the summer 2013, because I didn't use it to better my swimming career when the school started. But that's just a little bit of background about my life. And then I've got all this here, the Vitrodenella richardi, which is a type of octopus, was an ancient witch doctor. He would mix things together to create fun matrices all around the universe. He wasn't allowed to partner with Solomon to create the Earth Matrix, and he fought the serpents and Sith to place easier burdens on the people for Solomon's gathering of intel fairly for the Matrix design. Because there was a boon that Solomon had to fairly distribute the burdens of the Matrix. So, and this guy's 7 arms are the Donnie Darko film, World War Hulk comic, Scarface film. And that was, World War Hulk comic was touched on in one of the films with Thor, when Thor has, he loses his eye or something. It's touched on that where they're like gladiators. Scarface film, Munich film, John Locke from Lost film series or TV show. Mesa from the Hopi Legends. And then the third left arm is hectok otilized, which means this arm needs a lot of luck to get through the Matrix. My Uncle Don was known as a lucky guy, and this isn't a reference to anybody else. I don't know who this guy is yet, but we'll figure it out by tomorrow probably. But like Carly told me on the swim team when I had returned from Mission Viejo that I would need a lot of luck to get through the season or something, because there were a lot of fast guys that had been recruited. So that's the, and then Hisi is the Earth, so it means this Matrix design is based off of this guy. Like this, whether in the 4th age or the 5th age, whatever, has been based off of him, and it's all means a lot of luck to get through. It means like heavy burdens, basically. But that's what that means, and keep faith, teammates, and thank you. And I gave you a little bit about my life today, and thank you, teammates.